Hi, I'm Danny Ecker with the Chicago Business Today Midday Report. With a $12.5 billion sale to Google in the books and a deal in place to move from Libertyville into Merchandise Mart, Motorola Mobility can now focus on its next move, developing a legitimate iPhone rival. The company dropped out of the top 10 smartphone makers in the second quarter, according to a report, and is bracing for the debut of the latest iPhone iteration, which could eat into sales at Verizon Wireless. Our John Pletz wrote this week about the road ahead for Motorola. John, plenty of smartphone makers have struggled against the iPhone. Motorola seems to have maybe fallen farther than most. Why?
Well, Motorola's been kind of in rebuilding mode for several years. So, going back to the Razr, there really wasn't much that came after it. They didn't have a clear smartphone strategy in place at the time that Apple took off with the iPhone. So they're suffering more than most.
The new CEO, Dennis Woodside, former Google exec, he hasn't really shed much light on product development. But what are analysts that you've spoken with said about what Motorola really needs to do from a technical standpoint to start competing again?
Well, essentially, the analysts are saying the same thing that Dennis Woodside has said, which is, you're never really more than one hit phone away from a comeback in this business. And Motorola knows that all too well. They've had some big hits in the past and gotten right back up there. And that's really what they're banking on. But that's a long-term play. That's going to take a while.
Right. You don't just keep making the Razr. You need another Razr, right? So, to recap, what really are the real advantages that Motorola will have now with Google behind it, standing on Google's shoulders from a resources standpoint?
Well, they get two things. Google has pulled off a pretty impressive feat with the Android platform for smartphones. It's the biggest smartphone platform out there. But also they've got deep financial resources, which in recent years is something that Motorola didn't really have. So I think it gives them some breathing room, and then it just becomes an execution question.
Okay, John, thanks a lot for the time.
You're welcome. Thanks, Annie.